I've realized over the years that I only have a limited amount of time in a day, and I still to this day overestimate how much I can achieve within a day. Trying to learn a whole new skill of trading. Don't get me wrong, I've looked into it, into options and all that kind of shit, but to be honest, I gotta know where my strengths are, and I can't spend the time learning a whole new skill in how to trade and how to buy options.
Your real estate investments, why did you want to get into that?
That was something that my dad pushed me. It's because like his dad, my grandfather, who's no longer here, told him to buy houses. Back then they were super cheap, and he was like, no, I ain't worried about all that. I want to buy cars and jewelry and stuff like that. And to this day, obviously, he regrets it because back then they were literally next to nothing. Over the years, it is a slower mechanism, so that's why it's always good to have like a mechanism like you're doing trading, dropshipping, whatever it may be, to have sales, so that you've got that, you can acquire money and cash flow quickly and then put it into those long-term assets. That's how I like to do things.
Yeah, I like that approach. Just like brick by brick, build your wealth. But that was a really interesting analogy you made. It's like, if I drop dead tomorrow, what's my family's not going to run my ecom business, right? Like, that's a good way to look at it. So would you say the idea of passive income in e-commerce is basically like Fugazi, or you think it's like real?
No, so there's no such thing as passive income. Like people need to understand this. Like passive income is not it doesn't. It's not real. It's like like there will always be an element of work. Like any guru who is telling you that dropshipping is this way to make passive income, laptop lifestyle, take it on here, you can only work 3 hours a day, etc. Like, dude, run as far away from those people as possible, because the reality is it doesn't work like that. There will always be fires that you have to put out, and that's the beauty of the game, right? In terms of like housing and stuff like that, it's a little more passive, but you still have to deal with things. Like, for example, there's things that I have to deal with my house, even though it's out with a letting agent and they handle most of the stuff. There's still small things that they get in contact with me. Well, it's not actually me, but it's me and my old man, because like he's really good with his hands, like fixing shit and all that kind of stuff. He kind of
Oh,
done all
that's
that stuff.
nice.
So it's kind of a
That's
blessing
convenient.
to have him. Yeah, have him in my corner. But they still email me, right? So I'm
Right.
still having to deal with things here and there. So it's never really passive. There's never really anything that's completely passive. The probably only really true passive thing that you can do is like affiliate marketing, whereby you have links here, there, and everywhere, and just have money coming in there and there. But that's the only realistically thing that you can get to passive. But ecom, it's never really going to be passive. Trust me.
Yeah. And even affiliate marketing, it's not really passive because like you need some sort of audience to be plugging
Traffic.
that
Yeah,
into.
exactly.
So yeah, I agree. Maybe like in like dividend investing could be like passive, I guess, if you have enough money to do
Yeah,
that. But it's not going to be meaningful unless you have like 10 million in there invested. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
but that's pretty cool. So I mean, we can start wrapping this up. I know it's probably late over there and you're probably getting tired, but this has been really cool. I mean, we've talked before, like I mentioned, but it's been nice to be able to like this is a good excuse to ask my friends questions that like I've always wanted to ask. So that's awesome. As far as like uh, investing, you said you just like to invest, and then you don't really do trading or anything like that. You're just kind of parking money in different places, right?
Yeah, so not really on the whole trading side of things, because it's like another thing that I need to learn, which then obviously takes me away from, like, I've realized over the years that I only have a limited amount of time in a day, and I still to this day overestimate how much I can achieve within a day, and even still stretch myself too far. So trying to like learn a whole new skill of trading. Don't get me wrong, I've looked into it, and like looked into options and all that kind of shit, but to be honest, I gotta know where my strengths are, and I can't spend the time learning a whole new skill in how to trade and how to buy options. And I mean, I know how to do it, but I then have to sit down and look at the charts and all that kind of shit. So
Right.
it's not personally something that I want to essentially dedicate a lot of time to. So yeah, I
That's
don't really
smart.
bother with the day trading,
I feel the
just
same
investing.
way. And honestly, like whenever I'm pretty bad at it because of that reason. Like every time I've tried it, it's like I don't put the time in to actually master that skill or like become
Mm.
an expert at it. So it's almost not worth it. Um, what would you say when it comes to like your real estate investments? Why did you want to get into that?
So that was something that my dad kind of like not pushed me, but like helped me into, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's because like his dad, my grandfather, who's no longer here, told him to buy houses, and back then they were super cheap, and he was like, no, you know, I ain't worried about all that. I want to buy, you know, cars and jewelry and stuff like that. And to this day, obviously, he regrets it because, you know, back then they were literally next to nothing. But it was just one of those things that he kind of like pushed me into, and forever grateful for it.